Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. It's January 21st, and it's time to do another propagation update. This week we have 11 more figs that we're going to be potting up. Now, some of them don't have a lot of leaves. They have just a little bit of leaves, but it has roots going all over, coming in from the top. We're going to get that up. This one here is it had a leaf, I think, got knocked off. It's starting some new ones, and it's got good roots down there. So we're going to take and propagate it up. Let's see here. We do how long it's been. This has been since November 12th, and this is an Italian everbearing. So it's been right now about a little over, let's see, 12, a little over 2 months. Now, this one here has been a little over a month. It's a Texas everbearing. They've been seeming to root really quick. This is another Texas everbearing. It's got a little leaves and got a little bud coming out at the bottom, but it's got good roots. And for those that are not familiar with the way that I do this, the reason I pot these up at this point, when they got good healthy roots, a lot of times when they stay in the cup for too long, different things will happen. It's a lot different than whenever I put these in a well, it's not quite a gallon pot, but my pots that I use here, these are, I think they're about 8/10 of a gallon or something. But when I water them that way, that tends to let the water go through more, drain out the bottom, and any things, especially like last week I was talking about one of them specifically smelling like ammonia. So those kind of conditions, it helps out better, lets them ventilate and lets them get out. But this one's the same way. It's got roots coming out the top, and it's got really good roots out on the side. Now this was been about 2.5 months on this one. This is a Gino. I'm happy that I've got one of these that's rooting out. Hadn't popped its top yet, but it'll get there. And some of it could be due to water. I know when I let some of these dry out, when I have to open them, because when they're like this one here, which this one wasn't open, but I caught it. But when they have growth coming out underneath the bag that we have these in with the process, this can it'll actually start to rot. But we'll get back to checking these out. Now this is a yellow long neck, and I really like this. So it's important to make sure that if they are in a bag, any green growth underneath, you'll need to take that out. Let's see, did I say that was a yellow long neck? Started about a month ago, just under a month. And we've got this one. Now I messed up in the middle, so I'm not sure. I don't think I did this one. This one is about a little over 2 months old. It's a emerald strawberry. This is a good flavored fig. It's green outside, nice berry flavor inside, kind of like a strawberry maybe. We've got this other emerald strawberry. You can see it's really taken off. Now these sit there for quite a long time, so it's when they wake up and they start to go, they start to go. Now this Texas everbearing, this has been about a little over a month and a week, and it's really coming out. It's just now starting to sprout, and like I say, I had to take the bag off, keep from messing up the lower leaves. Same thing with this one. Now this might have had a little bit of a problem because it was in the bag and the bag was real tight to it, but it's starting to come out. This is a Italian everbearing. You can see how this one was cut. It just cut and left a limb to it. Like that. If you go back and you watch my videos, you'll see some of that. And this was about 2 months ago, a little over 2 months. I've had this Madeira KK, been about a month. It's coming out, good root. And then this LSU purple here. This has been about 2.5 months, and when it came alive, it just came alive. I mean, and it could have had roots and no leaves, and I just didn't notice. I'm going to go through here eventually and check them all, so that the ones that are really rooted up need to get out of these cups. What I've found, and we'll talk about this when I start potting these up, but about these roots and getting them out of here. Okay, these roots on this LSU purple, there's a lot of them against the side of the glass. And what I do is make sure I water around the edge of it. Now, depending on where you're at, you might want to watch it. But what I've found is, and it is just a little bit dry because all those roots have been sucking up the water. But what I've found is whenever they get ready to plant these, and I still might have a few roots stay connected to there, but they don't want to slide out. And when I put that water, I don't have them stick to the side of the container. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop this down in here. I want to mention again while I'm planting a few of these, don't worry if you plant them a little bit deep if there's even if you got buds coming out, because they'll just shoot roots out the side and root in. They're not like your normal fruit trees like a peach tree or apple tree to where you don't want to bury a graft point or truss roots. So anyway, this one here is finished. What I want to talk about for those of you that haven't followed along on my channel. Now, when these were originally started, there was nothing special, and you can go back through my propagation playlist, my most recent videos, and you can find the videos for this year's propagation, which they're going to be the newest videos. But when I propagated these, some of these I took green cuttings, actually cut the leaves off of. Some of them were I think I want to put that a little bit deeper. Some of them were put in the refrigerator, but all of them, except the very first that I propagated, were soaked in cinnamon water. I didn't scrub these. I didn't use rooting hormone, and I explained that. And I on my older ones, I don't know if it's last year or the year before on propagation, I did an experiment to see what worked best, and I found out that there was no clear winner on which one rooted best, whether it was with rooting hormone or not. Now I went to cinnamon this year. I had a whole lot of lost last year. I maybe got 30% propagation on my cuttings, or survival of my cuttings, and that's not a good level. But what I had was a lot of rot, and of course I ended up with a fungal gnat infestation. That's why I went to bagging them this year. And I would show the grow station and what they look like today, but it's about 36 in the shop, and so I've wrapped it up, get them a little warmer, because I want these to go ahead and put out leaves. They are on heat mats, and they do have grow lights that come on during the day, and keeps them plenty of light for the ones that's put out leaves. But what I want to say is that the reason I use cinnamon for there is cinnamon is a fungicide. So I'm organic, and I tend to do things organic. And that's one reason why I got away from a lot of these root stimulators. Now they do have some that people do that's organic, and that's fine and dandy. But I found that you don't need it. I've explained that on your cuttings that the roots will come out. They don't necessarily have to come out at the node. A lot of people want cuttings with a bunch of nodes. If you can get them, I did in that same deal where I was running experiments. I planted some that just had one node and stuck them in there. The roots, as you can see on some of these, they don't. This isn't a node here. The nodes are about this far apart. The node is underground right here, but the roots are coming out the side because the bag kept the moisture there, and that's enough for roots to grow. And I realized that the first year I started propagating because I used the tub method and put the top on, and the humidity was so high they were putting roots out an inch long up here, way up here on the cutting. And so I realized that they would root out in areas not just the node. And I realized that you don't want too much humidity, because as soon as you took those out or reduced the humidity, those roots would dry up and they would air prune themselves off. And that's not what you want. You don't want energy going to something that's not going to survive. But this is the way I pot them up. This, as far as when the roots are at a point that they just start out, I got less disturbance of the roots using this method. As you can see, it's easy enough. Now, I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. There's lots of ways to do it. But I do know that if I have a failure after it gets into one of these pots, it's very rare. Now, I have had where I put some in that looked like they were dying, and I potted them up, and yes, they've continued to die. So it didn't make a difference. Once they start dying, whatever it is that's killing them, it's not going to make a difference potting them up. But anyway, I felt like that was some information that a lot of you might want to know. I thank you for watching this update again. If you want to see more of them, of course, and you're not a subscriber, just hit that subscribe, hit the bell, select all, and give this thing a big thumbs up and share this video. Enjoy propagating your own fruit.